Hello and welcome. Today's video we will be doing a monster review on Loong. Loong is a fire support with trait disabling, and that's loud. Trait disabling, positive effect removal, and torture skills, making him a very good monster. He has an evolving trait. At rank 0 he's hardened, at rank 1 he becomes tough instead of hardened, and at rank 3 area true vision to all allies. At rank 4 Sasscaster element random element weakness. At rank 5 he also gains a random torture. These all are mainly Sasscasters, and all of them are areas. All of them. It's not self true vision, not one random element weakness, and not one torture to one enemy specifically. His attack stat is moderate, making him not the best attacker, but he's not really run as attacker anyways. His speed is great, being the highest in the game. And his life is also moderate, making it so he's not weak enough to get one shot normally. Once again, he's a very good monster, and you should not underestimate him when you're fighting him. Next, why don't we check his moveset? There we go, level 100. Let's see. Emperor's Servant. Deals moderate fire damage to one enemy. Applies a random elemental weakness and a random torture to one enemy. Okay, so this one requires a bit of RNG. Well, most of it's really just RNG. So, it's alright. It has 0 cooldown, 3 stamina. It's not bad. It's definitely kind of runnable skill, and if you are facing a clone activation monster, like Beatrix, for example, it will do. Protector of a Nation. Deals moderate fire damage to one enemy. Applies a random elemental weakness to one enemy. Requires cooldown. So 1 turn cooldown, but you don't need any stamina for it. This is a pretty nice skill. It's a lot like this one, except this one also does torture, and is completely spammable, except for stamina. Punish the Weak. Applies 2 random tortures to one enemy and requires a 2-turn cooldown, with 42 stamina. This is an S skill. You could get Curse and like something else, but overall it's not great. It's possible this can be pretty decent, so. Forgotten. Deals moderate fire damage to one enemy, removes positive status effects from one enemy, and gives itself an extra turn, and has a 1-turn cooldown. Meaning you can use this, something else, and go back to this. So this is a very good skill. However, you might have to trait disable someone, because, of course, an enemy might be able to have anticipation, and that might be bad. Next we have Corrupted Dragon. Deals moderate special damage to all enemies. Disables trait on all enemies. Applies a random elemental weakness skill to all enemies. This is a very good skill. I think a lot of people would use this most, because if you're facing a monster like Lord Nevadas, he's gonna be doing a lot of stuff with his many traits. So it might be incredibly useful if you have that. And I think a lot of people are going to be using this one the most. Ignorance is Bliss. Removes positive status effects from one enemy. Removes positive status effects from all enemies. Deals low fire damage to all enemies. This is a great skill because not only do you first remove positive status effects from one enemy, but then you do it to all enemies. Meaning you can pretty much stop like a positive effect removal, and then remove a Megataunt, or you can remove a Megataunt, and then positive effect removal the rest. So, this is a very good skill. It says one enemy, but it's all enemies, but it doesn't matter. And the low fire damage is good, because you never know. You might want to deal a bit of damage. Invader's Punishment. Applies a random torture to all enemies. This is more of an skill, I'd say. It's possible that it will be good, but the chance of it being good is not the greatest. You might get burn, which is it just deals damage, it doesn't do any extra effect. So, possible it might not be good, but you never know. It's random. Dragon Spear. Removes positive status effects from one enemy and disables trait from one enemy with two turn cooldown and 42 stamina. This is a very good skill because not only do you remove positive effects before you trait disable, but you're also trait disabling, so you can remove a taunt trait, but you can also remove like a positive effect protection or trait protection. Sasscaster. Very good skill. 2 turn cooldown is not bad for us either. It might come in handy. And then we already covered this skill. So his 0 turn cooldown skills are kind of like, I don't think a lot of people would be using it, but oh, it's only this one. Well, whatever. It's not great, but as long as you can avoid getting hit, I don't think it's a problem. I think people will still be able to do this with good effort. Let's see. So I think Ignorance is Bliss is going to be one of your best skills, and you should have it. Forgotten's a pretty good skill too. Some people might want to do that, just in case. If you have an extra turn without an anticipation monster, then that should be also really good. If you think you're going to be facing a cooldown activation monster and you want to be able to get an attack in, use Emperor's Servant. If you don't, use something like Dragon Spirit. Dragon Spirit is a great one. You should most likely use that. If you're ever fighting an anticipation monster, like if you know in like, wars or something, or revenge attacks, then remove that with Dragon Spirit. Surely. That's a great skill to use. Overall, this monster is incredible so far, and we haven't even gone to the relics, which is probably one of the better parts of this. So, we might come back to this later, but this is a really great monster so far. Let's start with relics. This monster has a staff and an essence. This means he can revive from his essence. So you can use Flamara's essence or Uriel's essence as the best things possible for this guy. For now, I'll use Uriel's since I don't have Flamara's essence, and quite a few people don't too, so I might as well use something that a lot more people can get. Next, I'd say you want to do something like Pump Sea Staff, I think. After damaging with a skill, removes 27 points of stamina from damaged enemies. And after being damaged with a skill, it will remove stamina from the attacker. So that's probably one of the better ones you can do if you want to be able to attack from not losing stamina. Then, or if you want to heal anyone's stamina, like boost it, then definitely go for Arcane of Atlantis. If you think you're gonna want this one, then go for it, by all means. For now, I'm gonna go with Seed Staff, just cause why not? It depends on the circumstances which one you want to use, but I say that these guys are pretty good. You can use Master Staff if you want, or you can use the Arcane of Atlantis, it's all fine with you. Just depends on what you want to run with this monster. I want to stamina drain these guys, because why not? So, Loong seems pretty good. But let's test it out, shall we? Of course, it might be a little more difficult for me to do that, since I don't have them ranked up at all. So, I'm going to remove Spectra, since I use Spectra for positive effect removal. So it would only make sense if I removed Spectra instead of the one I use mainly for attacking. So, also for runes. For runes, you would obviously want to go for speed like this. I'd say that's probably your best bet, because you want them to be able to go first before your attacker, so that you can move positive effects, and then your attacker can guarantee a hit. With the positive effect removal, then trait disabling, you know. So that's probably what you want to do. So probably run them as speed rune, or just as many. If you don't want them to be too fast, you can put a team speed rune on him, make your entire team a bit faster. But I don't think that's entirely the best idea. Anyways, let's go for this. That's not good. Guess I can try. Okay, so that means you have unload exalt. Yep. Alright. So this means I wanna at least do this. Because then you're gonna be able to attack, and then I'll get anticipation again. And I can do this. Okay. It's not gonna go well, because while you're not extremely fast, you have revival essence, and also you can stun me, which might be really bad. And since you only have hardened, it's not gonna be the greatest for me. Gonna have to fly high. If I can at least keep from dying for a bit, then I'm fine. Please survive. Perfect. Ha! Revengeancer. I was gonna show off one of my earlier videos, but I scrapped it on like why my team was like how it was with Spectra. Honestly though, he hasn't really done anything, so I'm gonna see if I can get I only have one. I should be able to do that. They won't really have positive effects to remove. Okay, you guys have revival. Okay, one of you guys have revival, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna charge, because why not? Also, I kinda had to. Okay, so I can remove positive effects and trait disable. I could apply random elemental weakness, or I can trait disable him, and then apply random elemental weakness. Or, for my final move, I can just remove positive effects from one enemy and all enemies and deal low fire damage. I think I'm gonna go for this, because it might do me a little bit better. And I got dark, which is great actually. Because I got dark. So I got lucky there. The random elemental weakness was definitely on my side there. But it's not like it matters because he has 2,000 health. So I could have killed him with anything anyways. But you can see that he definitely can be proved useful at times. And I got 2-6 I can't open. That's sad. Well, anyways. I'll be doing an Era Saga video soon, showcasing me doing his entire Era Saga, so if you guys want to see that, then subscribe and like, and that should be fine. I'm willing to do that because even though in this video I haven't been able to show him to be very good, since he's only level 100, if I'm fighting the Era Saga, then I'll be able to show him better because obviously the enemies are weaker. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So technically the Era Saga is going to be more of like a part 2 to this video. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next episode. See ya!